I think spiritual care is incredibly difficult to articulate. It can involve matters of faith and religion, but it can also involve questions such as, what's my life been worth? What happens after death? But it can also just be being with that person in the moment that they're in, helping to keep them company, to absorb fear, to help them to express any worries they may have, and just being with them. I think end of life is a time at which big questions often come to the surface. So I interact with people of Christian faith, I've spoken to people who are Buddhist, who are Jewish, who are Muslim, and people who have absolutely no faith and are atheist, but that spiritual connection, I believe, is there with all.
My husband was looked after by Weldmar 18 months ago. He died in March 2021, and we had community care for a couple of months from Weldmar, and then came into the inpatient unit for the last week of his life. And we were here together, and we met Veronica on, I think, the second day that Simon was here, and she came and spent time with both of us in his room. And also we had several conversations apart from Simon. I remember a very, very striking conversation probably 2 days before Simon died, and I was standing in the corridor with Veronica, and she said to me, look through the door, and Simon was lying in his bed and he was breathing. It was very laboured, but she said, you know he will die, but his love won't die, because where could it possibly go? And that has stayed with me, and that will never leave me, because that probably encapsulated for me the sense of otherness, which is the way that I, as somebody who doesn't or didn't have a particular faith, perhaps views spirituality in that way.
So these are olive wood hearts, wooden hearts, that I started using with people during lockdown when we couldn't see them, so I was supporting them over the phone, and I would hold a heart and I would then send it to them as a way of connecting us. But it's grown through that. They're now made available on the IPU for nurses to give to patients, to family members, and it's a way of connecting, something tactile to hold, to calm, to ground, a sense of peace and a sense of belonging and a sense of love.
Veronica, when she came in to see Simon, first gave him a heart, which he held a lot, and whenever I left the room he would want the heart. And then Veronica gave one to me, and as he died we were holding both of them, and one went with him and I have one at home.
It's incredibly humbling and often quite profound, and gives me a sense of, it's increased my own awareness of my own spirituality.
It gives me a very strong sense that, or I have a very strong belief that if there is any way in which I can help somebody who is either, who themselves is dying, or their family, or the staff who look after them, then I would do anything I can. You know, the care we had from Weldmar was fantastic, and if I can, in some small way, give back to that, then I'm very, very pleased and humbled to be able to do that.